Carl Jung and the Shadow Self. Understanding the Darkness Within. Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, introduced the concept of the shadow self as part of his broader theory of the psyche. Central to Jungian psychology, the shadow represents the unconscious and repressed aspects of the personality. Those traits, desires, and tendencies that an individual denies or fails to recognize in themselves. These aspects are not inherently evil or negative, but because they are socially unacceptable or personally uncomfortable, they are pushed into the unconscious. Jung believed that confronting and integrating the shadow is essential for psychological growth, self-understanding, and individuation. The shadow forms early in life as individuals begin to learn which behaviors are rewarded and which are punished. In order to be accepted by family, society, and peers, a child might suppress traits like aggression, jealousy, ambition, or even creativity and sexuality, anything that does not align with the expectations of their environment. These repressed qualities are then projected outward. For example, someone who denies their own capacity for anger might see others as overly aggressive or hostile, misinterpreting their behavior because of an unacknowledged internal conflict. This process, known as projection, is one of the ways the shadow influences our perception of reality and our relationships. Jung emphasized that the shadow is not purely negative. It also contains positive traits that have been suppressed, such as creativity, spontaneity, and hidden talents. In this way, the shadow is a reservoir of potential. What makes it dangerous is not its content, but our refusal to acknowledge and engage with it. When ignored, the shadow can control behavior from the background, leading to self-sabotage, irrational actions, or moral hypocrisy. Jung saw the unintegrated shadow as a root cause of much personal suffering, as well as collective social problems like scapegoating and mass violence. The process of shadow integration is a core aspect of Jung's idea of individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming one's true self. To integrate the shadow means to bring these hidden elements into conscious awareness and accept them as part of one's whole being. This does not mean acting out every impulse, but recognizing the parts of the self that have been disowned. Jung encouraged self-reflection, dream analysis, and the exploration of personal symbols as tools for discovering the shadow. He also believed that relationships, especially those that trigger strong emotions, serve as mirrors that can reveal our hidden traits. Facing the shadow requires humility, courage, and honesty. It demands that we confront aspects of ourselves we may find shameful or frightening. Yet this confrontation, Jung argued, is transformative. By making peace with our inner darkness, we reduce its power to control us. Moreover, we become more compassionate and less judgmental of others once we realize that the capacity for both good and evil exists in everyone, including ourselves. In contemporary psychology and popular culture, the concept of the shadow continues to resonate. It is often invoked in discussions of authenticity, personal development, and trauma work. Shadow work, a term derived from Jungian theory, has gained popularity in therapeutic and spiritual circles as a means of healing and empowerment. It involves practices aimed at recognizing and integrating the shadow through journaling, meditation, therapy, or introspection. Ultimately, Carl Jung's theory of the shadow self invites us to embrace our full humanity, rather than clinging to an idealized self-image. It challenges the notion that we are purely rational, good, or in control. Instead, it offers a more nuanced and compassionate view of the psyche, one in which darkness is not an enemy to be feared, but a teacher to be listened to. As Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious.